Hello, welcome to episode 101 of All Killa, No Filla. This is a Q&A special. You legends sent in a load of questions and we sat down and answered them. In fact, you sent in so many.
Yeah.
We recorded for like 2 hours.
Felt like 2 days.
Yeah,
to be
2
honest with
days.
you, yeah.
2 days. I
Nosy,
hit the menopause.
very nosy.
Yeah.
Nosy bunch, aren't they?
Very intrusive, but you answered everything, including your bra size and width of the vagina.
Both bigger than you'd think.
Not. So basically, it's a 2-part episode. So this is part 1 of episode 101 of All Killa, No Filla, a Q&A special with you, the legends.
Welcome to edition 101 of All Killa, No Filla podcast with me, Rachel Fairburn, and Kiri Pritchard-McLean. Just before we start, we'll do our usual disclaimer. This isn't hero worship. We do this podcast because we have a mutual interest in serial killers. As long as we are doing this podcast, it stops us from writing to them in prison.
Yes, we have decided to enter the 19th century. And we decided that we would film the podcasts. So, yeah, we're going to be putting the podcast. You'll still get your audio podcast out, but we'll also be on YouTube, so you can have us on in the background when you're cooking or having sex. Lovely background.
No, I don't consent to that. Do you know what? I don't consent to that.
And that's turned them on more. Someone just got over the line now because you said that.
Oh, don't. I say, not a big fan of recording podcasts. And also, when I listen to podcasts on my phone and a video starts playing, I'm like, I don't want to see this. So welcome. Thank you.
Welcome. And welcome because people will be listening in the traditional sense.
Yes.
If it was up to you, we'd do it by fucking telegram. So
Absolutely. This is nice, though. We're here. We are filming this in the Frog and Bucket Comedy Club.
The iconic Frog and Bucket Comedy Club, which is sort of actually halfway between us both.
Yeah.
Because of the, not as the crow flies, but because of the incredibly poor infrastructure system from North Wales. So yeah, we're going to be meeting up and doing this at the Frog, our spiritual home when we started doing comedy, in this little studio, and we're going to try and just bang out the apps, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you're banging your partner now while staring into Rachel Fairburn's eyes.
Please stop. This is awful. I feel actually sick now. We're starting with a Q&A. Mm-hmm. We've got a big episode coming.
Yes.
Which, as per usual, we thought, oh, we'll do this. This is but now it's become a deep dive.
Yeah.
And I reckon it's going to be 2 or 3 episodes.
Do you? I think it's at least 2.
I think it's definitely 2 at least. Yeah, 2 at least.
Should we say what it's going to be?
Yeah, let's tell them. It's John, Reginald, Halliday, Christie.
Yes.
That's who we're doing. And
I was going to joke and say my so I'm really glad I didn't jump in there.
Well, we have to beat that out.
He is...
There you go, Owen. The first...
Owen is our new producer, and
Hello,
I can already
Owen.
see now he's like, what, mate? You should have got a notepad and pen to write down all the things you're going to have to cut. Kath is also here, just to fill you in on everyone who's in the room. Kath Hughes, star of Tarot and Afterlife.
Yes.
Do you want to give him a wave? Kath plays the dog in Afterlife. Do you want to give him a wave, Kath?
I can.
Yeah.
Give him a wave. Oh, there
really
she is.
Good. It's one of the
there
best hands in the biz there.
It's a bit like when people do an audience with this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and who else have we got in the audience? Hello.
I love an audience with.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
I absolutely love an audience with.
And of course, where would I be without her mother? Mother is in the audience. That kind of thing. I love
There's
it.
some people who I only ever see them in an audience with. Linda Lusardi.
Linda Lusardi, yeah?
Yes.
With a top on for once.
Linda Lusardi, if you're watching this from anywhere that isn't the UK and you were born after 1990, was what, page 3?
Page 3 stunner.
Page 3 stunner. Absolutely lovely set. And back in the day, that's enough for a career.
Yep. Linda
and now
Lusardi.
we've got to have more. Isn't that right?
Who else would be in an audience with?
Floella Benjamin.
Floella Benjamin.
I feel like it was...
God, she looks good for her age.
Yeah, she looks fantastic.
Who else would be... There'd be stars from Coronation Street, that kind of thing. Not necessarily EastEnders. Coronation Street was very much the...
it's because ITV had a lot of audience with.
Michael Parkinson.
Often
in the audience. Cilla Black.
Oh, yeah,
she'd be in the audience.
Yeah. I bet she would be really nice on screen and then she'd be slagging off the buffet.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
As soon as the mic was off.
An audience with. Bring them back.
Bring them back. I'd watch an audience with Kiri and Rachel, but I want it to just be an audience of people we've wronged, people who've crossed us, and our ex-sexual partners.
Well, Full House.
It's all the same 4 people, actually. What we decided to do is to kick off episode 101. We're going to bash a Dalmatian to death. We decided that we'd do a Q&A. These are always really fun. And so you've printed yours out.
I printed mine out.
You believe in paper, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Hey, do you remember when our biggest sort of thing was like, don't wet paper, it's going to ruin the planet? Do you remember when that was the thing?
Yeah,
like,
and now it's like...
It's paper. That's going to bring the planet to a standstill. It's going to kill the Earth if you use paper. And now everyone's like, it's not actually paper. It's everything else.
It's everything else. Bring back paper.
Pretty much everything else.
Who knew that Primark shopping bags would be at the forefront of the war against climate catastrophe? Yeah. Disintegrating in the rain. I absolutely love it when I see that happen to someone.
It's happened to me.
I have got some questions from the Facebook, and you've got some questions from the email.
Yeah.
So I've got mine on a phone, and you've got yours on some paper.
Which says, I mean, does that say a lot about us as people? I don't know.
Yeah, I reckon
Someone will psychologically profile that.
Probably in the comments section.
So, this is from Sarah Millward. You die and go to heaven.
Fucking straight
Debatable. After meeting St. Peter, he says he will reveal the answer to any unsolved mystery, but you can only choose one. Which one do you choose?
I'm going to be really boring for this one, and hopefully this one only. I've got some questions. Who is St. Peter?
Well, it's Peter, isn't it?
I genuinely don't know who you're talking about.
Well, you don't know who St. Peter is. He's the guy that is the keeper of the pearly gates of heaven. So he's the guy with the book that's like,
So there's a saint who lets you in and out of heaven?
Yeah, St. Peter.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Why was I angry about that? Because I don't believe this. So...
Yeah, because you're a Reformed Catholic, and absolutely any chance to be like, oh, don't fucking slag my saints off. Right, so St. Peter is the one who checks, the list?
Yeah, he's the bouncer.
Bouncer, great. So if you got trainers or you got a football shirt on, you can't come in. Actually, that is a fucking great rule. Not the trainers, we'll let that slide. If you're wearing a football shirt, you're not allowed in heaven. You're not allowed anywhere. I think it's a vile trait.
I would say if you're not allowed in trainers and a football shirt, if you've been hit by a car and died on your way home from a night out, you won't be getting into heaven then, because I imagine that's what most people...
What? Wear a football shirt on a night out?
I just imagine that most people who are hit by a car on a country road walking home from a pub are wearing trainers and a football shirt. Also, I would say a lot of people are buried in football shirts. So
why are you saying this?
Well, because people are ever so common. So I would say... So the reason I'm saying this is because if it was trainers and a football shirt, I would say a lot of blokes in particular are probably buried in a football shirt. So if you go into heaven in what you've been buried or cremated in...
I don't know the rules. I've just found out that there's a fucking bouncer on the door.
There's a bouncer. Anyway, my point. Right. The point is...
What is the question again? So
the question is, he will reveal the answer to any unsolved mystery, but you can only choose one. Which one do you choose? Listen, I'm going to say something about this.
Oh, God.
If St. Peter knows the answer to unsolved mysteries, and as a man of church, as a saint, as a deity, please, there are families you can put out of their misery. Let them know.
What's he going to do? Whisper it in their sleep?
Yeah, well, he could, whisper, say, they could say, she's in the sea.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Could be anything.
I would ask St. Peter, who I've just found out exists, what mystery would I ask himself? Oh, I lost a really nice, perfect plaid tartan shirt when I was about 20, and I used to wear it a lot, and it went missing, and I'd ask St. Peter for that back.
Nice.
I don't want to know about the other stuff. I don't want to know about John Bonet, mainly because it was the brother, but I don't want to know. So, because of some of the joys in not knowing, right?
I agree. I would ask St. Peter. I've never mentioned this before, I don't think. What happened to my granddad's ear? This is genuinely true. None of us to this day don't know what happened. My granddad's ear was severed and had to be plastic surgery back on.
What?
Yes.
What? So so it was a bit missing?
No, the entire ear was off. The entire ear. came up.
You haven't mentioned this before. And I brought up the fact that my mother's ear was bitten off by a horse, and you were like, no common ground keep moving.
Maybe I'm not ready to mention it. One morning, my grandma said, Rachel, I was on my way to work, you need to come downstairs now. Something's happened. So I was like, oh my God, what? And basically, my granddad was getting up from getting out of bed, and his ear was on the table.
What?
Yeah. Completely off. So I went, right?
Yeah, obviously.
And I was like, well, I'll just phone an ambulance. So
Was there loads of blood?
No.
This is like the Dyatlov Pass, but it happened on your granddad's head.
So, yeah. So, obviously we're like, oh my God, what's happened?
Why have you saved 100 episodes to bring this one out? This is incredible.
Well,
this
I don't know,
we
really.
Want to see, right?
So,
it's just finding out what happened to the ear.
Well, there's a Netflix series in it, I'm telling you. And so he went to the hospital, and he had to have an operation where Withenshaw Hospital, which is famous for, you know, plastic surgery type operations, and they sewed it back on. You wouldn't have known it had ever come off, but it was like perfect. So we were like to him, what happened? He's like, well, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, he didn't know, because he was just like, I don't.
1 minute I was juggling these incredibly large knives, and the next minute my ear was on the table.
Because it's like something the mafia would do to somebody.
So what? So hold on. Had he not been doing anything and the ear fell off?
He didn't do it. There was no one else in the house, apart from us asleep upstairs. We didn't do it. I don't know.
What the fucking fuck? Why are you only bringing this up now?
Well, I don't know. I just never felt it was a palatable conversation.
It's not.
It's not, no, but
It's
weird.
fascinating, yeah.
And like we just.
So hold on. There's an ear on the table.
Yeah.
There's no blood.
It was sort of, and he was like, "What are you on about?" And I'm like, "Your ear is off."
What?
Yeah,
are you serious?
Yeah. I'm not.
So right, hold on. There's a bit of blood. There's an ear on the table, and you're like, your ear's off. He hasn't realised. He hasn't done it.
No.
And you didn't do it.
I didn't do it. My grandma certainly didn't do it. And the only other thing in the house was the dog, and that didn't do it.
How'd you know that didn't do it?
Too little.
I know that there's people who listen from like a medical and like criminal forensic background who listen to this. Thank you very much for listening or watching. If you know what could have possibly happened to this ear, get in contact, because that is... So he didn't even know?
No.
He wasn't just in...
No. And the thing is...
slip shaving or something?
No. Now, so my granddad, at this point, you know, he was a very proud man, very... he wasn't... he didn't have dementia or anything like that. He was not as with it as he used to be, but he was like a 90-year-old man.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like he was still a big, strong man, and he sort of... But there was no sort of... You couldn't attribute it to... He was losing his mind in any way, and he did that. Because he didn't. So we don't know.
This has ruined my day.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird. And
I can't believe that I've never mentioned it before, but it's just something that I've never thought of mentioning because it's so weird. It's quite eerie.
Where do we go from that? Really good.
I don't know where we go from that. Anyway, that's what I'd ask St. Peter.
Can I change mine? I don't want to find out about that tartan shirt. I want to find out what the F happened to Rachel's granddad's ear.
Yeah.
Right, I'll do a question now. Hopefully it's a palate cleanser without a absolutely horrific story about a appendage falling off. Okay. Oh, so this is from Caroline, who says, "Hi, Kiri and Rachel. So my question is," and I'm sorry if it's been previously asked. Hey, Caroline, don't doubt yourself. If you could interview any serial killer, who would you choose? Thank you for the amazing podcast and shows from Caroline.
I don't know, really. I mean, is there anyone that I'd be interested to hear from? I don't know, it's difficult. I don't think I'd want to interview any of them. Yeah,
they were all really appalling people, aren't they? I think I would... See, I think part of me would like to interview someone like Eileen Vernos, who's sort of more sympathetic, but also is so deeply unwell. I think it would just it would stay with you forever.
Yeah.
Like an ear on a kitchen table.
Like an ear. Oh,
When
no,
you
it was the bedroom table. It wasn't on the kitchen table.
It was on a bedside table?
Yeah.
Like you'd taken like dentures
Yeah,
at the
like,
side.
just got a bed, take my ears off. That kind of thing.
Was your granddad Mr. Potato Head?
My granddad. Also, please do remember.
So my grandma came down with a little handbag and a big shoes.
Can I just stress as well, if you do contact me about this, please do know that I was brought up by my grandparents and I loved them deeply and I still think about them every day and I treasure their memory. So don't give any fucking back chat or smart remarks to me about them, all right?
What do you think, they're going to get ear shamed?
People out there are cunts, mate. And now this
Thanks
is
for listening.
listen, now this is visual. A whole new world of shit is going to open up.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, Owen's nodding, see?
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's what I need. More shit in my life.
Anyway, comments off on YouTube, please.
That's what we should get new merch on me. Comments off.
Oh, comments off, yeah. Also, I will say this as well. Who asked the question?
Caroline,
I like the way that you assume that I have any interview skills. I don't think I'd be very good at...
I think you'd start with the ear story.
Yeah.
And then I think they'd largely be asking you questions.
Yeah, I think that...
It's the old double bluff. You've done well
Open
there.
the floor up. Make it
An
about
audience
me.
with.
An audience with.
Rachel Fairburn and her granddad's here. Are you going to go next, or I've got another one here?
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's me now, isn't it? This is from Xenia Lily. Nice name.
Yeah, great name.
Hello, I hope you're both doing well and enjoying your well-earned rest after Savile. We didn't catch him. My question's probably a bit of a shit one. Have some confidence. But what's a mystery cold case conspiracy theory you've heard about that if you could know all the facts about it, you would? Also, on more of a personal note, she'd like to thank us both. Very nice, thank you very much. Getting some help for panic attacks. I should do that myself. Thank you for your lovely message, Xenia. Much appreciated. Glad you're doing well. Similar. What's a mystery cold case conspiracy you've heard about? You want to know all the facts.
Conspiracy or cold case, that's slightly different, isn't it, from serial killers? Interesting.
Unsolved mystery conspiracy. Do you know what I'd love to know about? And it's something that I am fascinated in. I love a time slip.
Oh, yeah.
Love a time slip.
What, when they come back with Roman coins in their pockets?
Oh, like when there's a famous one of the two ladies who went to the Palace of Versailles and ended up in a time slip. But there's one, because I watch a lot of, well, the only thing I watch is 90s TV programmes on YouTube. And I watch one that it's Michael Aspel, very 90s heavy today. Michael Aspel, Strange But True, great show.
Yeah, really good.
Do you remember watching this as kids? I loved it. And there's a time slip that was on it. It's this group of people. I mean, they probably are dead now. There's this group of people. But do you
keep it light.
Yeah, but do you keep watching things now? And time's going so fast that you're watching something from the 90s and the people on the TV show are like in the 60s. And they wouldn't have seemed that old at the time, but now you're going, they're probably dead now.
I can't watch nearly anything with animal in because I'm like, that's
dead.
That's dead.
My mum does that all the time. I've told you this, haven't I? My mum does a sort of film will be on from like the 70s and there'll be a cat or a dog in it. She goes, that cat's dead now. Every single time. Anyway, my point is, there was a time slip story on it. It was this group of friends who went on holiday to France. And they ended up staying at what they thought that turned out to be a very small village in France. And they think it was pre-war France because of the things that happened in there and how cheap it was. And I did read the comments under this on YouTube. And people were like, well, what? We got undercharged, so we must have been in a time slip, right? And a lot of anti-French sentiment as well. But I was just a bit like, sort of that, I'd love to know if that happened, was that true? Because then they went back and the place was derelict. So...
It didn't happen.
Can we time travel?
No. I know what mystery I would want to be solved.
Yes.
Does Yvette Fielding believe it?
Ooh, yeah, I think she does.
I ask myself that question now aloud whilst driving home from gigs. Very much enjoy Yvette Fielding's paranormal podcast as a sort of a fun romp if you're a skeptic. I think it's obviously very profound if you believe. But my partner and I really flip-flop. He thinks she's a grifter. And he is sure the husband is. And I think the husband is, but I think Yvette... Carl, yeah. I think Yvette has got open heart, and mine's so open, her brain's fallen out. but I think that she's sort of like, she's quite sweet and quite naive, and she just wants to believe.
I think Yvette is. I think she does believe. You know, I think she does. But I very much am a Richard Felix girl. The ghost hunter Richard Felix.
Is that the guy with the wax jacket?
I am. Richard Felix all the way, me.
Do you think he believes in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love his videos on YouTube. And also, I find his stuff very comforting. And I like him. I like it when he does these spin-off videos where he's clearly a bit pissed and he's chatting to people in a pub. I love that. But I also, I love his enthusiasm for it. And Tim bought me one of his books for my birthday a long time ago. And Richard Felix had put a signed photo in that nobody had asked for. So I find that, I love that little flurry of, she'll like this.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Who's this going to? A lady? No problem. And he's got his wax jacket on, he's sitting on a staircase like that. And it's on my wall in my house. There we go.
I've got another question. This is from Dom, who will be the first person not to apologise for the question. And I know it's not very 2023 of me to presume gender, but the first man. Coincidence? Interesting. If you had a time machine, would you go back and kill the serial killers in your podcast to save lives, even though it meant you'd be serial killers yourself for doing so? I thought I was going to say, even though you wouldn't have a podcast. There's a few serial killers that I'm like, yeah,
No.
Really?
Well, first of all, where do you think I've got the time to do this? I'm busy enough in this dimension. I've got time to go back and sort things out for other people.
She's got an ear to find.
I've got an ear to find, exactly. Second of all, do you think that I have the strength to kill a man? Because let's face it, most of them, they're all men. I don't have the strength to do that. I also don't have the inhuman desire to kill. I don't have it.
I think if it was a little bit of rat poison in the Golden State Killer's tea, I'd be quite happy with that.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, you don't know what you're going to mess up.
I love the way that when they've pitched you go back and kill serial killers, you're imagining it into like a hand-to-hand combat fight to the death. And the real issue there is you just don't have the upper body strength.
Yeah, well...
There's guns, there's weapons that you could do, you could cut the brakes on the car. But you are imagining it, tops off, in front of an open fire like Women in Love.
Yeah. Or in the snow.
In the snow, of course.
I followed someone back and we're in the snow and I've got him round the neck and I'm just trying... No, I just can't. I can't do it. I just wouldn't do it. As I say, too busy.
I think you could poison someone. You poison our WhatsApp group enough with your bile.
It's something genuinely true. And as you know, I'm not a vegan, but I think I was a vegetarian for a while. And I think I'm getting back. I'm starting to think that I don't want to eat animals anymore.
You're dabbling.
I'm getting there again, And I cannot kill insects. And I've had to put in my house, because there was a little bit of a problem with fruit flies. I've had to put one of those sticky strips up.
Yeah.
And moths as well. And
you spray it gold at Christmas, yeah?
And I just feel so bad. It upsets me.
It's also a horrible way to go, isn't it? Yeah.
Also, the moth one's really horrible because it's pheromones and it's.
Oh, is it?
So they think, oh
well then good.
Tops off, dicks out, and they just stuck to it.
I think that we should employ something like with humans.
We should have it in nightclubs.
Yeah, pretend it's a phone party, and when they get in, just cull all the men who've gone in. Ladies get in free. Just stick their little legs to the. Actually, there's some nightclubs I've been to where my feet do stick to the floor. I'm on one of those giant fly strips.
There's loads of blokes in Hugo Boss t-shirts.
Still wearing FC UK.
Oh God, awful.
Have you got a cue that we can A?
Federica. Fed for sure, I like that. When you do your research for an episode, you'll obviously come across very upsetting details about the cases you're looking into. How do you choose which details to include so listeners get a real feel for the extent of the crimes, and which are just unnecessary gory details? Thanks, and I hope to see you at a live show soon. Fed, yeah.
Thanks for that, Fed. I think I've got more sensitive to that as I've got older and we've got more experience doing this. I think when we started out, I would have read everything, and now I'll be like, I'll try and be a bit more euphemistic and try and only include stuff that I think is like really relevant because it's like it's part of an MO that repeats, or you know, is a certain sign of, disrespecting someone in a certain way.
Especially, I always think with things like BTK, Dennis Rader, when he killed the family and the young girl, the Otero little girl, there's horrible things about that. There's facts about that are just too vile, I think, to repeat, and I just think you don't need to know.
Yeah, also it's that kind of thing of like, I don't know, we talk about that a lot, but like being responsible people who operate in the true crime sphere and like what our responsibility is there. And also crucially, don't like just reading out a list of atrocities, there will be someone wanking to it somewhere. And you just want to make it hard for them.
Do you? That's the fucking last thing they need, to be quite honest with you, mate.
I've got a question here from Sean. Sean says, howdy. Hope you're both doing well. My question for you both is, two boths there, Sean. I'd have another crack at that and use a different word. What do you feel turns a serial killer, this is a great question, into a folk legend? Ooh. For example, will someone like Peter Sutcliffe become a folk legend in the future that gets romanticised by stories?
Interesting. No, I don't know. Well, I think things like... So, for example, I think things that can easily become an urban myth. Mm-hmm. So, like the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
Was never caught and stalks. It can become that kind of thing of like, well, if you're going out to your lover's lane tonight, watch out for the Zodiac Killer. It can become something that doesn't feel real because you don't know who it is.
Yeah, and a cautionary tale as well.
Yes.
I don't know. I think when it's got details and when there's anything that feels like... When society thinks that the group of people being targeted are deserving and the perpetrator has some charisma or charm, whether that's them being attractive or funny or, you know, just a bit sort of like holding court, very, you know, like with some... I don't want to say pizzazz. Every word, like pizzazz. Am I going to use the word pizzazz? Not about serial killer. Let's move on. So, yeah, I think it's that and a group of victims... which people are like, well, which is any marginalised person, basically.
Yes.
Were you already reading ahead?
No, I was just thinking that's exactly what I said.
Is that a jibe? Am I just repeating what you're saying?
No, I was joking.
I thought you were like, well, that's
no,
exactly
I thought it was a very good
said.
answer, and I was like, well, that's just what I was going to say, actually. That's what I say. Ellie Tanner. Great name. Love the podcast so much.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks. I was recently listening to your Yorkshire Ripper episodes, Retro. You mentioned a story about one of your mates and the Halifax guy in those episodes. You said you'd tell the story in a live show, but I'd love to know. We can never tell you that story.
What is it?
Howard from the Halifax.
Yeah, but what is it? Oh, yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
We can never tell you that story. He wasn't involved in the story in any way.
He wasn't involved.
We wish him well.
I'll tell you about live show.
Have you heard of the Crossbow Cannibal? Yes, we have. She's curious about him. Would we ever do an episode on him?
Yeah, we'll add him to the list, right?
We will add him to the list. He feels quite recent, though, to me. I don't know.
The Crossbow Cannibal?
Yeah.
I don't know. My head's full of the Crossbow Killer, which is someone who killed someone with a crossbow on
the Crossbow
my island.
Cannibal's one in Yorkshire.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. And it wasn't that long ago. I don't know, I feel...
You don't like recent ones, do you?
No, do you know what I thought you said? I don't like crossbows. This is a genuine thing that I hate. I do hate crossbows because I had a dream
Because they'll take an ear clean off.
They will take an ear clean off. And I had a dream once that was so vivid. I was hiding behind a bin with Bruce Willis. And we were hiding from the predator. You know, the creature.
Yeah.
And...
I thought you meant...
Beep that out. Beep that out, and so you can't lip read.
Can you do that? Can you pixelate?
I'll have to.
Yeah, poor old Owen. So, anyway, Bruce Willis said, go out and have a look to see if the predator's gone. And I said, all right, Bruce, no problem. And as I came out, the predator shot me with a crossbow, and it went through me in the dream. And in the dream, I went, oh, well, that's it then, innit? And died.
And that's why you don't like crossbows?
I have a horrible... It's the... And the... It's such an horrible weapon.
Now, I know someone in this room whose family member built a crossbow. Kath?
We found it in my Tide shed. I don't know what he was doing.
So Tide is a North Walian Welsh for grandad. And when he passed away and you were clearing out his shed, he had built a crossbow.
It was mid-build. He hadn't finished.
Mid-build, of course, yeah. And in many ways, the best kind of build, right?
Yeah.
Is that he hadn't finished the project.
I would say so. Oh, man.
So what was the question?
the question was, will we tell that story? And the answer is no.
No. But we
thank
will
you
at
for
some
your-
point talk about that crossbow.
Thank you for your information. We enjoyed reading it.
Thanks very much. Okay, I've got another one here. Let's have a look. This is from Janet. It says, hello, ladies. My question is...
Hello, ladies.
Hey, ladies. Well, interesting. It says Janet, and it does look like a picture of a chap in the... what's it called? You know, like the profile picture. But also then there's a middle name that could be a man's name. Is this a shared Facebook profile? In which case, who cheated? Because that's the
In
only
which
time you
case,
have them.
either who cheated or let us know you're safe.
So, hello, ladies. My question is, you'll like this one.
Oh, yeah.
What's the biggest lie that you told to get out of work? I worked for 10 years at a bar. My boss drove me home at least twice a week. I once told him I got stuck in the lift, and that is why I was late, and I lived in a single-story house. Good.
Okay, well, I've lied. I think I've told this on the podcast before. I've always said, I'm a bit ill if I'm a bit hungover or whatever. I mean, that's quite it was rare for me to phone in with a hangover anyway, because as I say, state of mind. If you want to be ruled by that, you go for it. But I also used to work with a bloke who was such a liar that it escalated, and I'll be honest, I'd have to tell you at a live show all the things that he lied about. But one of the lies was that his dad had been killed in a car accident, and then 6 months later he brought his dad in to work, and everyone's like, oh, he looks well for a dead guy.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I'll have to tell this at a live show because it could get me in trouble. Anyway, the biggest lie I've ever told to get out of not work, out of something was, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, years ago when I was looking for a way to supplement my income when I worked at the library, I thought, what can I do? I'm going to do a nail course. I'm going to learn how to do acrylic nails because you can, earn a good side hustle off that. And the day of the course, I was like, I think I've changed my mind, but I'd already paid my deposit. So I emailed them and I told them I couldn't do the course because my mum had died.
Whoa, you went for the top shelf.
I told my mum this. I said, look, they won't give me they didn't give me a deposit back either. So who's the bad guy in this?
Still you,
So
actually, to be fair.
My mum is alive and well. But I told my mum this. I said, look, I've told a terrible lie to get this deposit back. I said, basically what I've said is, I said, you died. She went, you bastard.
Do you know what? Someone's going to watch this in 40 years' time and go, that mum's dead
Yeah,
now.
exactly. So, and I do feel ashamed because whenever I tell this story now, because I've got obsessive compulsive disorder, now I've got to go and fucking, straighten all my door handles so that my mum's going to be all right because I repeated that. So, yeah.
Have you got one next?
Yeah, this is from Nicole. Nicole Piachoke. I hope that's right. I remember Rachel once saying she wrote a joke that she loved but wasn't really her voice. So more broadly, do you have a joke story bit that you're attached to but you've never been able to fit into a show? And can we hear it? Much love from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, Boston, one of our favourite tour dates ever.
It was great there, yeah.
Yeah.
Beantown.
Beantown. So many. Yeah, there's a story that I've got. Maybe I've told it actually, about a dog, that I used to try and teach tricks to, and whenever
You've told this on here,
whenever I can't think of a bit, I'm like, oh God, what? If I'm at a gig and my partner's there, I'm like, what should I do? I don't know what to say. But like, do the dog story, and I'm like, I don't want to do the dog story, and he's like, do the dog story, and it's not a bit. It's awful. And audiences hate it, and I don't enjoy it. But sometimes you just can't think of any of your bits, so I end up going on doing the fucking dog story.
I have... So what, you may know this as well. This might happen to you. I'm sure this definitely happens to you as well. There are certain jokes that if I do them in a club set, the audience are like, oh.
Yeah.
And you think, it's because you don't know me as tour show Rachel. So for example... I've been trying a bit that is, I feel I'm at an age where a lot of my friends' parents, my friends have lost a parent now, and I think that's awful. It's very sad, but I'll bring it back to myself because every time someone says, "Oh, my dad's passed away," I always think, "Oh, that's very sad for you, but this is going to affect my time because now in 6 months I'm going to have to attend your housewarming," and that is met with,
Oh, really?
and it's like, "Oh, fucking come on! I'm the idiot." This is what I'm saying. So. It's, I think within the context of maybe my show, that will be fine.
Yeah.
But when I've tried that at Great. Love Always Be Comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out James. Shout out Tim.
It's a great club.
Love that gig. I've tried it there, and that's a great place to try new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they just went, oh.
Yeah, I had a routine in my last show about my partner having a dead mum and how great that was, and that does not work in a set. I've got to win them over for like 15 minutes with like much broader stuff before I'm like, time to... Because they don't know that I make fun of him for having a dead mum all the time. And you need the context of that.
Also, I do think, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I will never stop saying this. I do think there is a thing with being a comedian who happens to be a woman. People do shy away more from stuff that you say that is a bit more prickly and a bit more controversial. That I do. There's some jokes that I've got that I think I'd love to send a comedian who happens to be a man out there and see the reaction that they'd get if they delivered that joke exactly the same as me.
Yeah.
Because I am, and I've noticed a bit of a shift as well in comedy recently. I think it's going back to, we've given the ladies a bit of a chance.
Yeah.
I think it's getting very dick heavy again.
Dick Heavy is the name of our new podcast that launches on whatever. Lara here says, would you ever do All Filla No Killer episodes where you just chat to each other about whatever you feel like? That's a really lovely idea.
Some would argue that that's what we do.
That is what this is, yeah. And we find it quite hard to work in time-wise doing All Killer No Filler. And so I think it's a really nice idea. Also, I don't want to talk to you any more than I already do.
No, we don't. We talk enough. I mean, how much more do we need to say?
Sometimes we talk to each other and go, oh, don't just save that for the podcast. Yeah.
Well, because then it's nice to hear something first time, fresh, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, like the ear.
I.e. the ear.
Yeah, I should have known about that years ago, to be honest. Go on, what's
years
next?
ago. This is Matt Stanhope, who I think follows on Twitter. I think we've had some nice interactions with Matt Stanhope. If I'm correct,
Rare will accuse a man on Twitter of that.
If I'm correct, he wears a scarf in his profile picture. Maybe I'm...
All right, Columbo.
Yep. Hey, one more thing. Is that what he says? Same birthday as me, Peter Falk. Facts.
It's such a great insight of what you'll be like in an old people's home. Just flitting
Do you
between
remember
impressions.
Columbo? He had the same birthday as me. Firstly, Matt says, can I just say what an absolutely amazing job you did on Savile? Yep, we caught him, as I said. Here's the question. Is there anyone you've ever started covering for the show, then stopped before finishing it for reasons of taste or for any other reason? Love the show. Been one of my favourite podcasts for a few years now. I rave about it to anyone who'll listen. Thanks, Matt.
That's so lovely. No, because I think once we've invested the time into the research, I think we've done it where we've done a live show and gone, oh, that was a bad choice. Or that was a hard choice.
That was a hard choice. But also, we did Mary Ann Cotton twice, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
So we'd recorded an episode of Mary Ann Cotton, and it was out there in the world and had been for a while. And then we started researching her again, and I was thinking, oh, this sounds all very familiar. Watched a dreadful ITV drama about it. Twice. Well, what? And then you messaged me and went, we've done it. And I was like, oh, my fucking God.
But it's because you get, like, it does blur when you have so much information and you find different sources, so you can find suddenly loads about someone's childhood, and so you're like, oh, this sounds familiar, but we kind of... And sometimes you're like, maybe we did a live show of it and we haven't done it as a podcast. But yeah, we were heavily into the research for a second time of the podcast that we already did. That was... wasn't a high point.
You know, people say, where were you when 9/11 happened? Where were you when JFK got shot? Where was I when you told me that we'd already done Mary Ann Cotton? I was lying on a bed in Lincolnshire thinking about what I was going to eat that day. And the news came in.
So that is the end of part 1. You've still got another part to come. God, we spoil you. Don't we look after you?
Is it ever going to end?
Is it ever going to end? There's a lot of questions. Turns out we just love answering your questions and talking to each other.
It took so long we had to get changed.
I've got up address sites. That's why I've had to get changed. So yes, join us back for part 2 of our Q&A special.